Maintenance is obviously critical to all vehicles, but maintenance is super important on internal combustion engines, otherwise known as gasoline or diesel-powered cars. Keeping up to date on your oil change is one of the most important and easiest ways to keep up with maintenance. Engine oil is the blood of a car. So today I will be showing you how to do a general oil change. And today's example is on a Saturn Ion. Things will vary depending on the kind of car you will be working on. Before we get started, we're going to need a few things such as oil, an oil filter, and some tools. Here's the oil and filter I went with. Alright, so some of the materials you're going to want to use for doing a typical oil change, and especially one on a Saturn Ion that's equipped with a 2.2 liter Ecotec engine, which was put in a few different Chevy vehicles. Some general items, you're going to want a pair of safety glasses since we are working with chemicals and other toxins such as motor oil. You're going to either want a wrench or a ratchet with the proper size socket on it, and this is going to be for releasing the drain plug. Either or works. I just prefer the wrench. It's got a little bit less length to it. For this specific car, you're going to need a 32 millimeter socket because there is a canister oil filter on here, and those require specialty sockets. There are other ways to do it. You can use it with like an adjustable wrench, get it undone, but I highly recommend getting the proper socket so you don't break anything. Next, we're going to use a pick, and this is going to help get the gasket that's inside the canister off, and then we'll put a new one on. You don't necessarily need a pick, it just makes life a lot easier. Next, we're going to get some latex gloves. You might go through about 2 to 3 pairs of these while doing an oil change. It's really good to have since oil is a carcinogen. It's cancer causing, so I prefer to wear safety gloves and safety glasses. And then finally, paper towels to clean up whatever mess you make. And finally, an oil drain pan of some sort to put that oil in. That'll be all you really need other than the car ramps, which you already have the car in the air, so either car ramps or jack and jack stands. Some other tools that you're going to need are a funnel and some socket extensions potentially. Now that we have all of our tools, we're going to safely jack up the vehicle, put our jack stands in a safe and secure location, lower the vehicle on the jack stands like so, and finally chalk off the rear wheel so it doesn't roll away on us. Now that we have the vehicle in the air, we're going to open up the hood, take off the oil fill cap, and I'll show you here. It tells you what kind of oil you need usually on any oil fill cap. We'll set it down, and then we'll take the engine cover off so we can get better access to the engine bay. Set that off to the side there. Now we're going to locate the oil filter. The oil filter can be anywhere around the engine. It can be on the top, the front, the bottom, or the back. I've seen them everywhere. You have 2 different kinds of oil filters. You have this kind, which is a canister type. You see that black plastic lid over there. Or you have a spin-on filter, which I'll show you in a little bit. A spin-on filter spins on while a canister filter's inside. Now that we've located the oil filter housing, next we'll put on our latex gloves. Then put on our safety glasses. And finally get our ratchet ready by attaching the extension and the 32 millimeter socket. Looking at the new filter, we can see it's a paper filter, just like the old one that clips into the canister. And we also get a brand new gasket that'll go around the perimeter of the canister. Now here's an example of a spin-on filter. So you'll see it has a metal outer casing, and it has this rubber gasket on the center here. You'll lubricate the center gasket, and then you spin the filter onto its location. Now, here I tried to get the filter housing broken loose with the ratchet and socket, but I realized that I don't have enough extensions and it is too short to reach around the fuel rail. Here I have the proper amount of extensions, and I break the canister loose without any interference. It should break loose pretty easily and unscrew with ease. Now that we got it loosened most of the way, we can take it out by hand. Now, when taking the oil filter out, have a paper towel ready, as oil will spill out of the filter since there's probably still some residual in there, like this. You've got to be quick with it. Now, you can see here, it's an old paper filter. The flukes have been spread open a little bit. You can see that red disc right there. That's the old gasket. Next, I'll put the old filter in the box, and I'll take some of the residual oil and lubricate the new gasket. Next, I'll take my pick and we'll get this old gasket knocked off just by hooking and pulling off. Take the new gasket and we'll wrap it around the outside of the housing there. We want to make sure it's in the bottommost groove right there. As you can see, that's the proper groove. Then we'll take the new filter, pop it in place. It should spin pretty freely. And then we'll screw the filter back into the engine. Screw the filter in gently. It should go in pretty easily. When you're finished with that, wipe off all the excess oil. We want to make sure this engine bay stays clean. Next, we'll take our socket and we'll gently tighten down the filter. It shouldn't be over tight, but just snug. Next, we'll slide the oil drain pan underneath the vehicle. Then we'll crack the drain bolt loose and start unscrewing the plug. The drain plug should loosen pretty easily and pop out. The oil should flow out pretty easily. It should look like a dark brown or black color. Now that the oil is done draining, we'll put the drain plug back in. It should screw in pretty easily, and you should snug it up just like the oil filter housing, not too tight. Now that you've tightened up the drain plug, now add your funnel, crack open your oil, and start to add it. Once you're done, take the funnel out and put the engine cover back on top of the engine. Then we'll grab our oil cap and put that back in place. Now we'll recycle our old engine oil. Take the funnel from before and put it into the jug. Then we'll open up our oil pan like this, and then we'll pour in the old oil. Next, we'll put the cap back on our oil pan and then clean out our funnel. Now we can check our oil level. It looks like we didn't burn any oil. We have a full 5 quarts. Finally, we'll check the oil level of the engine. It should be up to the full mark on the dipstick. Then we can make sure everything's tight, close the hood, make sure it's latched, and then go for a drive. Thanks for watching.